Hey, hello there. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Knox to Nuggets. My name is Oluwayomi Ute, and it's such a joy to come your way this very beautiful Monday morning. Happy New Month. It's the first time we are meeting in this month. And for every Nigerian out there, happy independence. October 1, Nigerian turned 64. Amazing. I know it's all shades of emotion. Some people are like excited, Nigeria is 64. Some people are saying, really, 64? What do we have to show for it? With all that is going on around. And so today, in this Independence Day edition, I have a guest in the house. And I'm actually wondering if I can even dare read his profile because it's pages and pages and pages. But I will give it a try. And I hope I'll do justice to introducing him today. But first of all, let me say thank you to everyone joining me live. I do not take you coming on for granted. Thank you so much. And like I always say, please like the video, share it, let somebody out there know about Knox to Nuggets. In case it's your first time, please hop to my YouTube channel and please like, subscribe, and also pass your comments. I will greatly appreciate it. So my guest this morning, talking about the blessing called Nigeria, is a now let me try and introduce him properly. Let me give it a try. His CV is long, is intimidating, but I will try. Is a prodigy of learning, visionary strategist, inspirational leader, an incurable optimist. Is a Delta-born Nigerian, and he is not just Delta-born Nigeria. He's worked in several places in Nigeria, within and outside the private, the public sector. He has promoted several things, particularly with reference to arts and culture, sports and tourism, education and ICT, maritime and environment, agriculture and mining, oil and gas, astrophysics and space research, technology, energy efficient technology, media and publishing, conflict management, and disaster control, and of course, the public service sector. He has served as consultant and trainer even to NNPC. You see, he has to be the one to come and explain himself here. And it's several things. He's a well-known environmentalist. He has initiated and executed several effective and efficient projects and programs towards enhancing the environment, such as NUXAT and quite a whole lot of others. And all of these things actually earned him national recognition. And I know I'm so excited because my guest this morning was conferred with the Order of the Niger, OON, by the then President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, in 2014. Should I go on and on, ladies and gentlemen? Let me pause there and please receive with me on the Knox to Nuggets platform, Dr. Patrick Okpah. Hey, good to have you in the house.
Wow, thank you very much. It's a joy to be here, a privilege in the sense of it. I do not take lightly the opportunity to speak on an area I'm very passionate about, and I'm glad for a platform like this for us to be heard and know that we're in this together by the grace of God, the blessing called Nigeria.
Absolutely, the blessing called Nigeria. Dr. Patrick, I'm just going to ask you a very open-ended question. And we have a short time, but I know you will maximize it. When you say blessing called Nigeria, I'm not sure a lot of people will agree because of the things going on in the nation. The number of woes, even the skits talking to us about our woes, are more than what probably we can call blessing. What is this blessing called Nigeria?
Wow, thank you very much. I think the first thing is a lot of us in Nigeria do not understand Nigeria. I think that is the first port of call. Until we understand what we have in our hands, it will be difficult for us to understand what we should be enjoying. Let me give a typical update. I remember I had the privilege of being a delegate to the Commonwealth Heads of States and Governments meeting, the People's Forum, when the Queen visited Nigeria in 2003, December 1st to 8th. I remember that at Abuja. And I saw the way a lot of people from about over 60 countries of the world were excited to be in Nigeria. I organized an art exhibition to receive the guests then. And it sent me thinking that why would people from all over the world be excited about a country that the citizens of the same country are eager to live? So I
Exactly.
then chose then to dig deeper into Nigeria and to understand
Mm.
some things that some people are yet to understand. And by the grace of God, this journey has taken me over 20 years of
Wow.
investigation, 20 years plus of insight. And believe me, I can tell you, it's just at times and times again, I try not to talk too much about what I know about this country.
Mm.
Nigeria is indeed very blessed. So I will start by asking, I mean, for me, first, the reverse is the case for me. When people talk about Nigeria, the first thing they talk about is the natural resources.
Yeah.
I feel first and foremost, it's not the natural resources I am more interested in, it's the human resources.
Mm.
You have the greater population in Africa. And that's, I mean, on record, they say we are over 200 million people. And with that, that is a huge market for anything, believe me. Secondly, we have a young population. Young population gives you one, labor, gives you insight, gives you energy, gives you robust opportunity to explore, gives you adventure, things that a lot of countries do not dare to imagine. We have it. We
Mm.
have them, as it were, and those are where the challenges are. A lot of us don't understand the power and the advantages we can take, we can have in this with this population growth. Now, aside all of this, we are strategically located as a nation. I'm just giving a general background.
Yeah.
Strategically located, when you talk about, we are in the corridor, the West African corridor, which allows us access to markets. Europe is averagely about 6 hours away from us by flight. Direct flight into Europe is about 6 hours. Into the Middle East, Asia, depending on where you are going to, is probably less than 12 hours. So when you think about all of this, strategically, we have access to almost every market.
Mm.
And aside that, here in Nigeria, whatever we produce, we have the people to buy. And that is the truth. We have resources. Yes, I agree with a lot of people that the resources are gradually becoming thinner because there are what we say subsidies, or what we were told were subsidies. I wouldn't want to go into that, but
Yeah.
that many of those subsidies are gradually being removed, and the reality is dawning on us that there's so much that our supposedly lean resources are finding conflicting usage and conflicting needs for. But
Mm.
beyond all of this, God has blessed us in a manner that I don't honestly understand how one country can be this blessed. I'm not looking at, I spoke at a conference in Ghana about 6 years ago on African migration problem. And the issue was more of what everybody was talking about. If Nigerians were to all leave Nigeria, that which country would take us, which
Exactly. My
continent would
thoughts
take us.
too.
For me, that's not even the point. That's beside the point totally, because we are not going anywhere. Believe me, there is no. I go to the airport frequently. I also have reasons to travel a lot. And I see the rate at which people come in here. There must be a reason people come here. Let's
Mm.
not try to make it look like, I mean, I've lived here all my life. I travel a lot, but I have come to terms with the fact that, and I don't want to sound, I mean, I'm being humble about it by the grace of God. I have the privilege that if my passion was to leave Nigeria, I believe I have the opportunities to leave. But I have
Mm.
seen, I know too much about Nigeria that I said in this, we all will be here to enjoy the privileges of this land. And now, one other critical one, which is the generally known one, is human resources.
Yeah.
Imagine the resources that we have. Let me shock you. Um, First, the issue of natural resources, then the mineral resources. I got involved in mining a few years ago, and I was afraid for this country. In 2016, I chaired a committee that celebrated one of Nigeria's former presidents, now late, my mentor, my father, His Excellency Chief Dr. Ernest Adegunle Oladende Shonekon, GCFR. And I remember that one of the points, I had the privilege of meeting some of his friends in the north. And I remembered I met one man. He changed my mindset about mining. This is a man, he died a few years ago too. I think his name was General M.I. Wushishi. Yes. He used to be the chief of army staff, I was told, and retired about 1983. I went to his office at Kaduna and we sat down on a seat together. We spoke extensively on a lot of matters. But what shocked me was that I saw close to 100 military men all around his facilities, all around the facility. And I asked the question, I said, if this man truly retired from the Nigerian army, close to, over as at that time, close to 30, 35 years on, why would he have, he said he was one of the biggest miners in Nigeria. So
Wow.
I became consciously interested. I'm talking of, this was 2016. So I became consciously interested in understanding the mining industry. And it was then I realized that Nigeria is so blessed that managing that sector has been our greatest bane. And I will explain what I mean. You see, mining for me is the root of almost everything that comes from the ground, including petroleum.
True.
But sadly, we have concentrated on petroleum, whether for political reasons, whether for strategic reasons, whether for diversified reasons, whatever reason it is called, the focus has always been on petroleum. But there are several other resources in the ground that yields much more money than what petroleum can ever give. And I mean every word of what I am saying. But sadly, every part of Nigeria focuses on petroleum. But the problem we have is that the other sector, I mean, if you dig deep into the issues of the banditry and other things in Zamfara and other related things, you will know that part of the issues had to do with mining, gold, and all of this in the hands of illegal miners, as it were, in the hands of governors and other related people.
Dr. Patrick, I want to cut in here because I've listened to you and I'm wondering, let's calm down. You said something we're talking about our resources, human resources, and the huge population of young people. This sector you are talking about, how many young people even have access to it? How many people even know about it? I mean, we have this natural resource. It's the blessing called Nigeria. But the blessing called Nigeria is not in the hands of the Nigerians. That's why we want to jackpot. That's why people are looking for countries that have 1/10 of what we have. So yes, you have, and I'm happy I have you here. And maybe I'm going to hook you up to say we'll continue next week because this thing, we can't end it here. Is one thing we must flog out together. We have these resources. We have this young population that can engage in this sector. Why are we not there? Why are the young people not exposed to these things? Why can we not show them a better way to make money and leave the Yahoo? Nobody wants to make money that they're hiding under the table, that they're watching their back, that they're running elter-skelter, hoping the law enforcement won't catch them. How do we get the young people into this sector to make this country the blessing that God has made it?
Okay, thank you very much. I think first and foremost, I'm being careful in every word I say, not because I'm scared of anything, but because I want us to understand it in the light of the way I'm going about it. Maybe I went to the higher sector, as it were, mining. And that's why you're talking about why are the young people not involved. Believe me, first and foremost, even the Bible is very clear. My people are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. I told you clearly that the reason it was a conscious effort. And interestingly, it is an area that is least regulated. Yes, I'm aware now that the current government is trying to regulate it. When I found out the laws that guided the mining sector, I was afraid for Nigeria. Let me give you a typical insight into what I understood in the course of my investigation. If you have petroleum, you know definitely
Yeah.
federal government takes over the land and all of that, the issues, you have so much registration and licensing to do. But as
Yeah.
we speak, as at prior to this current government, because there are lots of amendments being done, what it was technically was that anybody could get either an exploration license or a mining license. They mean two different things. You get an exploration license to say this area from maybe 10 kilometer by 10 kilometer, for example, I want to find out what is there. And sadly, the idea, the original understanding was find out what is there, then come and tell us that you want XYZ area to mine. And then after you start that, whatever you get during the period, now that is where the major challenge is. During the exploration period, a lot of people explore and put everything in their pockets. That's one problem. Two, when even it becomes mining license, you're entitled to almost 95%, about 90% of what you mine, the rest is given to government. But sadly, who determines the 5% or 10% that goes to government? It is still you indirectly, because the people in that sector are not properly, I mean, there's high level of corruption in a lot of the sectors. I agree with you. So what it means is that a lot of people get to the point where they get free money, free resources, and nothing, almost nothing goes to the government. When you go to cadastral office, you'll be afraid for Nigeria. I must say categorically that the current government, whether for personal interest, self-interest, or national interest, is doing some things about it. And I'm aware that we all watched over the television. I was not there, where the current minister of the mining sector was, that I'm talking of, Mr. Dele Alake, was at the presidency, and I presented some gold bars here, discovered and built up here in Nigeria, to the president. Yeah, there's lots of questions that if he could present that to national television, maybe another 100%, 500% of that may have been filtered away. Who knows? That's not known. But it means that at least we have gold, clearly bars that can be processed and sold in the global market. There's so much that God has given us. But let me go back now to the young people, because when we talk about mining, because of the level of equipment needed, the lease of equipment and all of that, it may be a little bit above board sector. What about the natural resource of land? Amazing land that God gave us for agriculture. Amazing. And I use the word with, in 2016, in the course of this project, there was a project we're doing, and I traveled around a lot of the states. Currently, I'm also on another water resource project in 22 states in Nigeria. And we're in 35 locations across Nigeria on water resources. It's called Operation Clean Our Beaches. So we're going around the country, the different strategy, the river basin authorities and all of that. And we realized we drove for close to 4 hours within one state, Niger State, 4 hours. It was then I asked myself, I said, this is like Lagos to Benin, and we're still inside one state. And the land left and right, arable land in many places. And then asked myself, what are our young people doing?
What are we doing with it?
There is so much. I agree. Yes, there are challenges, the issues of the Fulani herdsmen and all of that people say. But it is not the only challenge. It's not the only thing that is our problem. We can make money from agriculture. People make money from energy efficient agriculture even today. There is so much. Agriculture is still the easiest way to make money. In 3 months, 4 months, you have turned over your money, sometimes 3 folds, 5 folds. It's the truth. You get okra keeps growing, you keep harvesting over a period of about 100 days, I'm just giving an example. The same thing with a lot of other plants. So why? And this one, entry point is simple. Young people can do that. That's all I'm saying. When I started with agriculture, when I started with mining, I was looking at the big players, the resources that could give us several millions of dollars every week in this country. But I'm now saying, because of our huge population, if we have systematic, strategic policies in place, agriculture can feed this country without stress. It's happening in Israel. It's happening in a lot of countries. And I'll give you an example. Because of my passion for agriculture, I started a center in 2014 called the Center for Agriculture and Sports Entrepreneurship. That's another story. But I would say something I understood in the course of this. We made a proposal to a lot of state governments, and we focused on the 774 local governments then, more than 10 years ago. And we said, we're going to just do something. Let every local government focus on one product, just one, any agricultural product of choice. If your area is water, maybe it is fish production. If it is poultry, you can still be doing other things, but let this local government or this particular state be known for feeding Nigeria in this area. Believe me, when we came up with that proposal, it was just it. That was it. But we just realized that some people will just come, make it look like a very big project, and at the end of it, it just dies like that after so much money has been voted. But what I have seen is that a lot of people who drive such things just move out on their own and go and start working. But because some of this land are in the custody of governors, I mean, that's what our Nigerian law says, that for you to get a C of O, for instance, government owns the land, as it were. So even if you buy land, over time, it reverts back to the government, as it were. And anyway, anywhere you buy land today, if you make an enemy of a governor, all the governor needs is to cite national interest or the state interest, and your C of O is revoked. It's revoked, even if you're a C of O. So there are too many risks involved in some things. But when it comes to agriculture, believe me, all we need, if our young people decide, how much do we need to start? I mean, there are even land in this Lagos or around the Lagos window, Ibadan, Ogun State, Mowe, where you can even still get land to be leased at very ridiculously cheap amounts. A young person can go into agriculture in partnership with 2 or 3 other young people with less than 500,000 naira. And you might say that looks big, but I can tell you what a lot of our young people are targeting is how to buy the car that is 10 million naira, 15 million naira. We need to show off. But if you put your money, I tell a lot of people, I got into arts and culture, and by the grace of God, I put a lot of money into arts. I was talking to my daughter a few days ago, and I said, every artwork you see around me is owned by me. And she was like, what? Because a lot of people just assume that until you drive the most expensive car, until you do this, until you have the biggest house, you are not comfortable, you are not rich. And I laughed. A few works are enough. Just 1 or 2 works can buy you the car you want. So why should I be killing myself over what other people use or drive when I know that I have more than... I don't know if you are getting my point.
I get your point, Dr. Patrick. I get your point. Definitely, we'll have to continue this conversation next week. But I want to say 1 or 2 things before I allow you pause for today. But you said some things that honestly everybody must go back and think on. We are focused on the big things. We are focused on the petroleum, on the mining, on getting the $1 million, on getting the $10 million in, leaving the low-hanging fruits that are all around us. And a major one is agriculture. And like you said, every time you drive around in Nigeria, you can see lands just wasting away, just lying fallow, nothing has been done. And a lot of people don't look at that. We're looking at how to own the next oil field, how to have the next license, how to be the next a big thing happening in fintech and all of that, leaving those very low-hanging fruits that can make us what we want to be. And you said something, Nigeria is number one rich in human resources. We are strategically located, and we are also rich in natural resources, mineral resources, and land resources. Next week, I'm going to take you up on this. What can we do beyond the talks? And I know you are doing a lot, and that's why I'm picking you up on this. I have followed you for a while on this, your love for arts and culture. Even when it looked as if you were a one-man riot squad, you kept at it. And sometimes, to be sincere, I'd wondered, what is this young man looking for with this arts and culture? There's nobody is looking in that direction. But you have stuck to it. You've been resilient, and you have made a name out of it. Next week, let me allow us pause for today, because we haven't really scratched this topic at all. But I crave your indulgence. We'll be back next week, and let's look at this again and answer a major question. What can we do to create that enabling environment? I'm not talking about government now. Let's leave government alone. In our own little corners, suggestions from you. What can we do to get people interested in these low-hanging fruits and intentionally build communities around that will help us build the Nigeria of our dreams? It's possible to have that Nigeria that we all want, but it's not a government business. It's what you and I must do. What do we do to make this happen? That is what we'll be talking about next week. I beg you to please be back here next week. Let's continue this conversation. Thank you so much. But before I let you go, let me give you 1 minute to just give me your final thoughts for today as we pause to continue next week.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm excited about this, and I'll be honest with you. For me, this is what it is. This is how to move Nigeria forward. The mistake a lot of us make as young people, as adults, as Nigerians, is that we're waiting for government to do it. The truth is this: whether we believe it or not, whether we agree or not, everything costs the same. There's nothing you want on earth. I tell my friends, I tell myself, anything I want on this earth, anything I want to buy, all I need to do is to think of 2 projects or 1 project, and I tell my wife to have a project that will give me whatever I need. So as young people, just be creative. Make up your mind this, and naturally, provision, the word provision is provision, towards vision. Money comes for visions. So until you have a vision, you have an idea, you have a concept, you have an initiative, do not expect vision. Do not expect provision. So all I'm asking us as young people, as Nigerians, as Africans, is to please sleep every day. I have notebooks beside me every day. Anything that drops in my spirit, anything that comes, I develop it into, because the first problem is having an idea. From idea stage to market stage is usually the problem. And I think that is a major challenge for us. So what I want to appeal to us, let's dig deeper into ourselves. When you have ideas, if you cannot convert it to markets, convert it to money, work with some people, partner with people who can help you turn it to money. That is one thing I am blessed and gifted at. I can tell you. And immediately you turn it to money, anything you want. If it is school fees you want, if it is this, naturally, that idea that you have will provide everything. The sad thing is a lot of us are just looking for jobs where we can use to be paid. I've not worked, I'm grateful to God, and I've not earned a salary anywhere in the world for over 22 years today. Over 22 years. And I have the privilege of doing all I want to do, enjoy myself when I want to enjoy, because I have come to terms to understand all you need is one idea, and that idea will give back to every resource that you need to become who you want to be. Thank you very much.
Wow. All that you need is one idea, and that one idea can make you all that you want to be. Thank you so much, Dr. Patrick. Thank you so much for being with us. Clearly, I understand why you are OON. I understand. Thank you so much. I look forward to having you again next week, Monday, in another edition of Knocks to Nuggets. Have a wonderful day. I'm grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am, and everyone. Thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward excitedly to being on this show next week. Thank you.
Wow. The blessing called Nigeria. Did you enjoy that? I did. And when he was talking, I was saying, excuse me here. All of this resources, but yes, Nigeria is rich in resources. But many times they look like they are way above us. In this month of October, we are going to be celebrating Nigeria on this program. I'm bringing to the fore different opportunities in Nigeria. I'm hoping and trusting God that something here will hit at somebody that will watch any of the episodes and get that person started in a path to contributing his or her quota to building the blessed nation called Nigeria. Surely, like Auntie Binta said, Nigeria will rise again. I'm looking forward to that nation that we all will be proud of. I'm looking forward to that nation whose passports people will queue to get because we are blessed. Thank you, every single person, for watching. Remember to like the video, to share it, to let somebody out there know that there is something called Nugs to Nuggets. And until next week, remember, if you can think it, you can be it. And of course, you can have it. And like always, together we win. God bless you. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Bye for now.